Part 1. The city is alive. It breathes with car horns, rushing footsteps, flashing lights, and restless dreams. Its streets are filled with faces, each carrying secrets, each holding stories. Some of those stories fade and are forgotten. But some stay, etched into the walls, whispered by the wind, remembered forever. And tonight, the city tells one of its most delicate stories. The story of two children who promised to be friends forever. Her name was Elara. His was Adrian. They met on an afternoon that looked ordinary to the rest of the world. The sun burned bright, the air was heavy with the smell of roasted corn from a street stall, and the sidewalks pulsed with hurried people. But to Elara and Adrian, that day would never be ordinary. Elara, with her bright red shoes and endless laughter, chased a ball that rolled across the road. Cars honked, tires screeched. Just as the ball escaped into danger, Adrian, a boy with messy hair and a backpack far too heavy, lunged forward and caught it. He handed it to her, breathless, shy. "You should be careful." Elara tilted her head, then smiled as though she had just discovered treasure. "You saved me. That makes us friends now." Adrian blinked, surprised by her certainty, but he nodded. And from that moment, their lives became tangled together. Days became weeks, weeks became months. Soon they were inseparable. At school, Elara sat by the window doodling castles and gowns in the corners of her notebooks. Adrian sat beside her, solving math problems with furrowed brows, secretly sliding his answers to her when she was stuck. When older boys teased Elara for her wild imagination, Adrian stood in front of her, fists trembling, though his voice was steady. When Adrian forgot his lunch, Elara tore her sandwich into two, even if it left her hungry. After school, they ran through crowded alleys laughing. They climbed onto the rooftop of Adrian's building, where laundry lines swayed in the wind and the concrete was cracked. To others, it was nothing. To them, it was magic. Lying side by side, they gazed at the sky. Clouds drifted lazily above, and they gave them names. "That one's a dragon," Elara whispered. "That one's a castle," Adrian added. "That one looks like a ship. Maybe it can carry us across the sea." "Someday," Elara whispered, "I'll see the world." Adrian smiled faintly. "Then take me with you," she laughed, reaching out her pinky finger. "Always. Friends forever." Their bond grew stronger with each passing year. They shared everything. Secrets, sweets, even their fears. One summer afternoon, they decided to skip class. Sneaking away, they ran to the city fountain, tossing pebbles into the water and making wishes. Elara wished to become a great artist. Adrian wished, though he never told her, for Elara never to leave. That evening, they were caught by their teachers and scolded harshly. But while everyone else saw two guilty children, Elara and Adrian only saw partners in mischief, laughing until their stomachs hurt. Another time, when Adrian failed a math test, he nearly gave up. But Elara stayed up all night at his side, making flashcards, drawing silly cartoons of numbers to help him remember. The next test, Adrian passed. Elara cheered so loudly the teacher had to ask her to sit down. At 13, Elara joined an art club. She drew dresses, paintings, and entire worlds on paper. Adrian, though proud, felt jealousy creep in when she made new friends. He thought she might leave him behind. For days, he avoided her. Silent. Distant. Elara noticed, and her laughter dimmed. One stormy night, lightning split the sky as she found herself trapped under a broken bus stop. Her clothes soaked, her heart heavy, she saw Adrian running through the rain, clutching a torn umbrella. Neither spoke at first. But when she saw how drenched he was, she burst into laughter. He laughed too, relief breaking the tension. And just like that, their fight dissolved in the storm. At 15, life became heavier. Adrian's father fell ill, leaving Adrian to work at the family repair shop. His hands became rough, his clothes smelled of grease. Elara often visited, sketchbook in hand, sitting nearby as he worked. She dreamed aloud of colours and catwalks, while he listened quietly, hiding the ache of a boy who felt trapped in a small life. At 16, they went to the Lantern Festival. Lanterns floated upward like stars reborn. Elara's eyes sparkled. One day I'll watch fireworks in Paris. Adrian's voice was quiet, almost breaking. Wherever you go, I'll be watching the same sky. She smiled, not realizing it was his way of confessing his heart. At 17, their friendship was tested again. A new boy, charming and rich, began walking Elara home. Adrian burned with jealousy, but he stayed silent. Until one day, he overheard the boy mocking her dreams, saying they were childish. Adrian's anger exploded. He confronted the boy, and a fight broke out. Bruised and bleeding, Adrian avoided Elara, ashamed. But when she found him, she simply took his hand, tears in her eyes. "You fought for me. No one else would. Don't you ever think you're not enough." And for the first time, Adrian realized she didn't just need him as a friend, she needed him as her anchor. By 18, Elara's talent blossomed. Her sketches were displayed in a small gallery. Teachers praised her. Opportunities whispered her name. Adrian watched with pride but also fear. One evening, she ran to him, her face glowing. "Adrian, I got it. An internship. In Paris." She expected him to cheer, but his smile never came. "So you'll leave?" he whispered. "Not forever," she said quickly. "I'll come back. This is just a step. We'll still be us." He turned away, fists clenched. Everyone says that. No one ever does. "Adrian, I'm not everyone. I'm me. I'll always come back to you." But he pulled his hand away. His voice cracked. "You'll find better people, better dreams. And when that happens, you'll forget me." Her tears spilled. "How could you think that? You're my best friend, my only friend. I could never forget you." But silence fell between them. For the first time in years, they walked away from each other. Weeks turned to months. Their rooftop stayed empty. Their park bench gathered dust. Their laughter disappeared. And then, one grey morning, Elara left the city. No goodbye. Only the echo of their broken promise. The city carried on. But for Adrian, everything changed. He worked long nights in the shop, his hands blistered, his back aching. Every corner of the city reminded him of Elara. The fountain, the rooftop, the bench where they shared noodles. Sometimes he climbed the rooftop alone, staring at the clouds, naming them as if she was still beside him. Elara's life was dazzling. Paris embraced her. Runways, applause, bright lights. She wore gowns, smiled for cameras, and shook hands with strangers. But at night, she opened her sketchbook and drew clouds. Dragons, castles, ships. The rooftop never left her. She wrote letters to Adrian. Dozens. Letters she never sent. Fear stopped her. Fear he had moved on. Fear he no longer cared. Adrian, too, kept her close. In a shoebox under his bed, he stored the sketches she once threw away. On quiet nights, he unfolded them, tracing each line with his calloused fingers, whispering her name. Years passed, yet the promise of friends forever clung to them, even across oceans. And then came the night of the rain. It happened.